Hello, YouTube fans and Facebook fans. Good to see you again. This is JJ from Paranormal Talks. And thank you so much for looking at these videos. These are educational. That's what Paranormal Talks is all about. And we want to bring to you divination tools that help you navigate more successfully through life. You know, our Western culture gets a hold of us when we're just little kids and kind of programs these things out of us when they could help us so much. And you can be sure that many other people use these tools to great advantage to help them navigate through life. And that's what they're for. These things are hundreds of years old, so they do work. They must work, or they would have been tossed aside ages ago. So we'll be doing life path number 7 during this talk. It's part of the numerology set of tools, and it is the life path, which comes from your birth date, your month, day, and year. Now, I wanted to make some announcements before we get into talking more about life path number 7, and that is at paranormaltalks.com, the website. We do have a video store, and we have many videos there, educational videos around the paranormal, supernatural, with amazing speakers. The talks are anywhere from an hour to 2 hour long. We have panel discussions of ET abductees and UFO contactees. We have panel discussions of near-death experiencers, people who've died or been killed and came back from the dead. We have psychics, we have mediums, we even have inventors of paranormal, weird kind of inventions that can photograph your aura, the energy of your aura, where they can actually see things and people in your aura. The purpose of one of these inventions, and the speaker is is in our video store, is it helps you with your psychological health and your physical health. It's amazing how much shows up in our energetic body, and that's captured by the camera that one of our speakers showed to us. It's a very mature technology, and that stuff works. Also, the last thing I want to mention is we meet the second Sunday of each month at 1:30 in the afternoon for an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour talk. We also have 1 to 3 day seminars. So feel free to go to paranormaltalks.com and look at our events and what we have to offer coming up in 2019. And we meet the second Sunday of each month at 1:30 p.m. Here in Denver, Colorado. So let's get started with life path number 7. I love this life path. It's not my life path, but I love it. Now, the number 7 is one of these numbers, and all the numbers have their own elements assigned to them, you know, fire, earth, air, and water. And the life path number 7 is an air element, just like the 3 is an air element. The 7 is also, which means it's the mental, it's the thinker, but they are far, far deeper thinkers than a life path is. But the point about the number 7 is in the Pythagorean system of numerology. In here, it shows the Pythagorean system where all the numbers 1 through 9 are assigned to every letter in the English language, right? Well, the number 7, as far as your name, because your name is made up of letters and each letter has its number assigned, number 7 is the most infrequently found. It's just, you just don't find a lot of number 7s in names, in American English names. So that's why in our culture, I think number 7 is so important, because it is the number of the spiritual, of the mystic, of the scientist, of the priest, of the researcher, of the deep thinker, of the non-businessman, of the non-material. It is the most spiritual number in the Pythagorean system, the number 7. And that life path is for the person to learn all of those things. Now, a number 7 life path, because they are such an internal thinking number, and that's what you are to do on that life path, is it doesn't lend itself so much to a lot of socializing or even marriage. However, a person with a life path of number 7, and I know them personally, a life path number 7, they are long-term loyal mates in a marriage. And with that, they need to really schedule a lot of time to be alone, even in that marriage, even with children. They do need time alone to fulfill that life path. But let's look more at what that life path is we are to learn on that, if it is your life path, based on your name, day, and number. Here, let me quickly show you the formula on how to come up with your life path number. It's based on your birth date. Here it is. You see, this is just an example of a person born October 12th, 1963. This is only an example. You weren't born on this day, probably. But this is just an example of a fictitious person born on October 12th, 1963. You see how the month number is all added together? And then the day number is all added together? And then the year number is all added together? They're all added together until it's just one single number, and then all those single numbers are added together. And for this example, and you can pause the video at any time to look at this formula, the life path of this particular person who was born in October 12th, 1963, their life path number is 5. So those are this is the lesson path that they have to learn, is 5. Okay, back to the number 7. So this life path is to learn to be alone, learn to deal with solitude, and in your solitude, to think deeply about life and all the things that are behind life, that make life happen, is learn to be alone. And it's okay to be an introvert. That is what is required as the lesson of the life path number 7, is learn, with the life path number 7, learn to be in solitude, but learn to balance that with also being social. Because if you're married and you have a husband, a wife, and children, you must also be sociable. Learn to be wise. Learn to perfect things. Perfect your personality. Perfect the way you dress. Perfect the way you groom. Perfect the way you cook. Perfect the way you clean and keep the house. Perfect the way you do your job in corporate America and your division. Perfect that. Be as perfect as you can. And you know, along this life path, and if you're doing it right along this life path, you're learning these skills, these abilities, this way of living, in searching deeply for the underlying answers to everything. You may come off as cool because, remember, the element of a life path number 7 is thinking, is air. Air is not always very warm. It can be very cool. So people may call you stuck up. That's okay. If they are, then you are being very successful in fulfilling your life path, what you came here to learn. So it's, you know, it's pursuing the spiritual things of life. And I'm not talking religion. Religion is a different thing than spiritual. Religion needs the spiritual, but the spiritual does not need religion. The spiritual is all about us and what makes this world. So, in pursuing these spiritual pursuits, even though you'd probably make a great priest or a great minister, a great counselor, because it takes someone, a deep thinker, to really be wise. And as I said before, wisdom is the perfect blending of both love and intellect. And the life path number 7 is an air sign, which is the intellect, which is thinking. So that's what you are to learn along the life path number 7. Now, what are some of the best work, careers, jobs you can do to really learn that life path number 7? Well, teacher would be a great one, because you are teaching, and you could really teach far, far more than we are actually taught in our public government schools as a life path number 7. Really teaching the deeper elements of life than just what we're directed to teach from our school books or the curriculum, the approved curriculum of our budding minds. So a teacher, a professor in a university, that would be outstanding, because a professor also needs to research. To publish papers, publish or perish, is to be a professor, a research professor, working as a lab technician, working as a researcher of some type in the sciences. So a scientist of any type. As far as the life path 7, I usually don't see a lot of professions or jobs for a life path 7 in our Western American society, because we're so materialistic, we're so social, we're so out there, we're so distracted, we're so fragmented, which is fun. It's actually pretty fun. And I speak for myself. But the life path number 7 in the Western American culture, that's a tough one, but it's very doable. I've seen very, very successful professors, scientists, and teachers, public school teachers with that life path number 7 be very successful. Also, psychics and mediums and tarot card readers. Excellent expression and learning for that life path number 7. So there's plenty of avenues. Some of them may not be as condoned or as famous as some of the other life path lessons, but this is very needed. When there is a storm, an emotional storm, when there's a political storm, and emotions are flying around and bouncing off the walls, it's the life path number 7 that brings us actually down to earth and saves our sanity. It's that wisdom, it's that deepness, it's that counseling given to us by a person who has learned the lessons of a life path number 7. Now, when we get into the names, our birth names are shown on our birth certificate, not our married names, not our nicknames, but our actual birth names. That brings to the fore people who have number 7s dominant in their names, of which is a very small percentage. Those are the rock in our society when things are going crazy. So thank you for listening to Life Path number 7. There's more to come with numerology, and it's to help you and your loved ones navigate more successfully through life. You understand yourself. You're able to keep an even keel much more easily. So I'm JJ from Paranormal Talks. I'll be seeing you next time when we'll talk about Life Path number 8. Till then, thanks. Bye.